Hi, it's Joe Mazumdar from Exploration Insights at the Metal Investment Forum in Vancouver, Canada. And with me I've got Chakana Copper CEO, David Kelley. David.
Joe, how you
Okay,
doing?
Chakana Copper is basically focused on an asset or a growing asset in terms of land package that's looking at breccia pipes and copper gold enriched breccia pipes in Peru. So can you let us know how you acquired this project and why you think that in this current copper market this is a project for majors to take a look at?
Yeah, I mean, it has several things that we look for in selecting a project. It does have high copper, gold, and silver, so it crosses the precious metal and base metal suite. It's high grade, it's a very compact project, it's in an active mining district, so there's lots of benefits to that in terms of the community supporting and being behind mining. We got involved in the project because I had prior experience there. In 2012, I went to site before any drilling had been done, watched the project through two predecessor companies that had come in and done some really excellent exploration work and convinced me that there was really something there to go after. But they were working on a very small portion of the deposit. We've now expanded the land position twice, tripling the amount of area and capturing the real geologic opportunity and not being constricted to a specific land position to begin with.
So you've tripled it? You've quadrupled it, basically?
Yeah. We started with about 1,100 hectares and we're over 3,000 hectares now.
Right, and what is the target here?
Well, for us, the target are these high-grade breccia pipes. Previous explorers had come in, done some drilling on the breccia pipes, had some really interesting intercepts and interesting grades, but not taken an interest in the breccia pipes themselves. They were seeking a discovery of a porphyry system driving the breccia pipes. There's no doubt that there's an intrusive system at depth driving this. No one knows what it's like, if it's a mineralized porphyry or if it's another type of intrusion. But our focus, and this is really driven by Doug Kerwin, our chairman, who's an expert in these types of systems, his view is that given the grades that we've got and the number of pipes in the field, knowledge that the pipes typically are vertically extensive and that they often get bigger at depth, his view was we need to go after the breccia pipe. So that's been our key strategy. And
then one thing I noticed, like there was this one breccia pipe where you drilled and you actually found another breccia pipe that actually doesn't surface.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that was huge for us because that told us that we were at the exact right erosion level that's exposed some of the breccia pipes, but not all of the breccia pipes. And as you and I have discussed, these are not breccia pipes that erupted at surface. These are breccia pipes that erupted off of an intrusion, a crystallizing intrusion at depth, but was still below the surface, perhaps by as much as 2 kilometers. And they're only exposed today by erosion taking us down to that level. And by finding that blind pipe, we know that the chances of finding additional blind pipes like that is very high.
And you've got what, a 400-meter vertical? How much is your vertical from the bottom of the creek down up to the top?
The highest, yeah, that elevation gain from the valley bottom to the highest pipe is 500 meters. But in the case of breccia pipe 6, we have breccia intercepted at 824 meters depth, and within that zone there's a 50-meter very high-grade copper intercept from 720 to 770 that runs over 1% copper, and we're still in sericitic alteration. We've still never even seen the high temperature alteration assemblage that they've seen in other productive tourmaline breccia pipe systems, most notably in the Rio Blanco Los Bronces district.
So you've tested 4 breccia pipes?
Yep.
But you've potentially got how many now on your expanded land?
Yeah, we're up to 23 confirmed breccia pipes at surface, things that we can stand on, sample, map, and then on top of that we've got another 11 areas that have the shape of a breccia pipe, but not necessarily the breccia exposed. So it's almost as if like we were talking about blind breccia pipes before, these are partially exposed breccia pipes. We don't see the breccia yet because the wall rock that surrounds the breccia pipes becomes very dense and silicified and replaced with tourmaline, so it becomes a very resistant rock. And in those cases, you don't see the breccia, but we're certain that that's the type of alteration we see adjacent to ones that we have drilled. So that's another 11 on top of the 23 that we have identified so far.
So currently, from what I understand, you've done this prioritizing of your numerous targets right now. So you've got a program to drill it, and now you're waiting for a permit where you're in the latter stages of actually getting a receipt to actually access these pads and actually drill these targets.
That's right. The initial permit, when we started the project, there was already a drill permit that was active on the project. So we were able to transfer that into our name. We drilled the first 4 breccia pipes from platforms remaining on that permit, and once we exhausted that permit, then we stopped, and that's why we stopped last October. Prior to that, we had submitted an application called an EISD. It just allows for a much more extensive array of platforms that you can add to the project, again in that same original permit area, and that permit has been approved. The ITS, which modifies that area to broaden it so we can get down to other pipes, has been approved, and we're just waiting on what's called the initiation of actividades. And in the last 3 weeks, we've had a lot of progress in getting that through, and within that original permit area, we should be drilling within a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks at the most, and there's nothing standing in the way of that now. And that's, I've just come back from Peru and confirmed that we're on the right track, so I'm feeling very confident that we'll be drilling in June, which was really what our original guidance was anyway.
And now you've got this added treasury recently from an investment by a major gold producer.
Yeah.
You talk about that?
Yeah, Goldfields, and that was a great deal for us. They're super excited about being involved in the project, and it was 6 months from start to finish, from the initial meeting to actually closing the deal. It was $8 million at 51 cents. It was a significant premium to market, but their view of the project and the upside potential was really what was driving their interest, and they love what we're doing from focusing on these high-grade breccia pipes, but they also see big potential in what the system is like that's driving this. And so it's kind of the best of both worlds for us. They support what we're doing from our current strategy. They're providing support to help us fully explore the district, and they brought everything to the table in terms of their exploration expertise, resource geology, mining engineering, metallurgy, geotechnical expertise, and even social and environmental expertise. So it's a great win for us because, as you know, with junior companies, you oftentimes are running lean and mean and using consultants to fill gaps and that type of thing. And now we have this very deep technical team sitting behind us.
So a potential investor in Chakana right now, what do they have to look forward to in the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, certainly the initiation of drilling, the fact that we have these 84 targets on the project that need to be drill tested, and obviously we'll start at the highest priority ones and we'll work our way through. We'll continue to work. As you know, we started metallurgical work. Goldfields has come in and brought, again, a very deep team to help us advance that and ramp that up. We continue to look at ways of enhancing the targeting and exploring the district, and we're even going back and revisiting some of the original data sets that had been collected and reinterpreting those as well. So news flow from the drilling, we're pushing hard to get a resource, which is what we've always told our shareholders that we were driving towards, that initial resource, getting some metallurgy done, and then that should put us in a position to be looking at doing a PEA sometime in 2020.
All right. Well, David, thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
That's Chakana Resources, operating a exploration project in Peru, Soledad. Joe Mazumdar, Exploration Insights from Vancouver, Canada at the Metal Investor Forum. Thank you very much.